Hey friends, it's time for That's Life with Julie, and today I'm thinking about the importance of dialogue, the ability to communicate effectively with one other person, to communicate effectively across the cyber airways, as we are doing right now, the ability to communicate effectively with your family members and with your world at large. And this has really struck me today, and I think it's because there's so much going on. We have the presidential election, that's kind of gearing up and winding down, kind of in the same time frame. And there was a conversation online, and it was discussing a certain political move, program, an idea that people had of something that needed to be done. And I read it, and I really try to stay away from the politics of life because, as I like to say, I don't have a dog in the fight. I mean, I care about political things, of course, because our policies reflect who we are as a nation, as a people, and there's an important place for that. But I just try not to get all bent out of shape and whacked out about it. And I certainly don't want it to be a conversation that is effective in keeping you and me from being able to discuss everything else that there is in life besides politics. Because some people don't know that there's other things besides politics. So anyway, this conversation was going on, and I read it, and I opined. I know that's startling, but I opined, and I just said, I don't agree with the premise of this discussion. And the reason I don't agree with it is because I'm very uncomfortable with the underlying perspective, the preconceived ideas and notions, the perceptions that are fueling this. And I'm uncomfortable with this because I feel like at times that we really don't think much past the end of our nose about these policies that we want to enact to stop this or that or start this or that. So, I just made that opinion. And one of the things I noticed in the comments in that conversation, and I've noticed this far many more times, and I've heard it so many times on talk radio, and I mean, whether it's an NPR liberal bent or whether it would be a conservative bent, whatever it may be, we have lost the fine art of using words such as these. These are important words. We learned these in early elementary school. These words, these pronouns help set up our communication and conveying community and conveying something outside of ourselves. And words like we did something together. Us, we're a community. More than one of us, more than two of us. There's like lots of uses, us. And what I see instead and what I hear instead so often is them, and those, especially those kind of people. Well, we should do that because everybody knows those kind of people do this. And you know what? I just have to tell you, it wearies me. It wears me out, and it makes me nauseous, and it makes me a little hacked off. And it makes me just want to shake and rattle the shoulders of some of the people that are speaking this, politicians to lay persons, and even in our own home. Have you ever had a teenager in your house? Yes? Yes? Have you ever been a teenager? Maybe you can recall back in your teenage days, it seems like your parents said all the time, you all, meaning you crazy teenagers, all you teenagers, and those kids, meaning those crazy harebrained teenagers that don't think straight and are always up to no good, all right? You heard that. And as a mother, I've certainly said that. I've put Patrick and Kristen and Ricky and lumped them in a whole big batch of those people. And let me tell you, there was not much effective communication going on between me and that child. And when my husband did it, not much effective communication going on between him and his sons and his daughter. So here's what I think. Here's what I have to say today with That's Life with Julie. How about we really, really attempt to bring back effective communication between yourself, me, you, and that person that you're going to see next. Maybe it is a family member. Maybe it is someone at work. Maybe, who knows who it is. But what if we try and pull out more often those pronouns that convey a sense of belonging, a sense of ownership, a sense of, hey, it's not us versus them. I'm so weary of this. I'm so freaking weary of this. That's right, I said it. I'm weary of it. So what if we stop doing that? What if we take the time to think far enough and long enough out ahead and come up with a way of saying what we believe and expressing what we think and giving an idea without, in one fell verbal swoop, or perhaps on your keyboard, making it us versus them, me versus everyone else, because I think I'm right and nobody else could possibly be right, or if they are, I'm certainly not going to admit it. Yeah, I've kind of swam in those waters before. But that's really what's on my mind. This whole 11 years out from 9/11, you know, and I remember where I was, and I remember how I felt, and at this point I just was gutted, and I looked and looked for a journal that I had kept that day, and it's somewhere in a box, labeled books somewhere. And I know how we talked that day as a nation. It was us. And we as Americans, we hadn't dribbled off into liberals versus conservatives and evangelical versus non-evangelical and Tea Party versus Ron Paul. I mean, let's get back. Let's get back to us. Let's get back to we. And let's get back to where we are together in all of this. That's what I'm thinking today. That's Life with Julie, and I'll talk with you guys later.
That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot back down in May. But I know I'm gonna change.